My boss told me I shouldn't earn a single dollar for my first 3 months because money too early ruins character. When I got this job, I genuinely thought I'd caught a break. The listing looked normal enough. Full-time position, competitive compensation, growth opportunities, fast-paced environment, all the usual corporate mad libs. The interview went fine. My boss shook my hand, told me he liked my attitude, and said I seemed eager but coachable, which I later learned was code for easy to exploit. Nothing about unpaid labor came up, not once. So imagine my surprise when, at the end of my first day, after 8 full hours of training videos, note-taking, and being paraded around like a new office pet, I casually asked, "So payroll is bi-weekly, right?" He laughed, not a chuckle, a full, confident laugh, like I'd just asked if the office accepted Monopoly money. "Oh no," he said, "not for you yet." I assumed he meant a delayed first paycheck. Annoying, but common. "No," he clarified, "you don't earn money for the first 3 months." I actually waited for him to smile or say, "Just kidding." He didn't. He leaned back in his chair and launched into what was clearly a speech he'd practiced. "The first 3 months are about learning," he said. "You're being paid in experience." I blinked. "Okay, but I still work full-time?" "Of course." "And do actual work?" "Yes." "And contribute to projects?" "Absolutely." "And get $0?" He nodded proudly. "It builds character. If we pay people too early, they focus on money instead of growth." I said, "I focus on money because rent focuses on me." He didn't laugh. Instead, he frowned slightly and said, "You're young. You don't need that much money yet." That sentence alone should be illegal. I explained, politely, that I had bills, food, transportation, a shocking personal attachment to having electricity. He looked genuinely confused. "Well," he said, "maybe your parents can help you out for a few months." That's when I realized this man had never lived in the same universe as the rest of us. That night, I reread the offer letter. No salary listed, just one vague line: compensation to be reviewed after trial period. At the time, I thought that meant a raise conversation. In hindsight, it meant surprise poverty. The next day, I asked around. One coworker laughed and said, "Oh yeah, that's normal here. I lived off credit cards for 3 months." Another said, "I quit after week 2. Couldn't afford gas." Suddenly, the office vibe made sense. Everyone looked exhausted, underpaid, and emotionally hollow, like survivors of a shared scam. By week 2, I was doing real work, client-facing work, staying late, fixing mistakes I hadn't even made. My boss praised me constantly. "You're really proving yourself," he said. "For free," I replied. He asked me to stay late one night. I asked if that counted toward my experience payment. He didn't appreciate that. I finally asked him point blank if he had worked for free when he started his career. "Oh no," he said quickly. But times were different, apparently worse now. On day 15, I quit, very calmly, very professionally. I thanked him for the opportunity and told him I couldn't afford to work without pay. He looked disappointed. "That's a shame. You were throwing away a huge opportunity." I smiled and said, "Opportunities usually come with money." He didn't respond. 2 weeks later, I saw the job reposted. Same description, same lies, same unpaid trial period, different victim. Experience is valuable, but not more valuable than rent.